Hello friends. Hi, Ruchi here. Today I thought I would talk about trauma. Well, sorry, I forgot to ask. How are you all doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Today I am a little jittery. Kind of some days are like not days. Some days our emotions are like that, right? That's why I thought I'll cover the topic of trauma because uh, I mean the dictionary describes it as an event that causes great sadness or shock to us. But I, I think it's not the whole definition. Trauma is not the actual event. Trauma is what happens to you, kind of what the event does, what it does to your emotions, your body. When it's a physical trauma, a physical injury, it's visible, it's easy to, I mean, it's easy to see, right? And but emotional traumas are kind of, it's not that easy. Sometimes they are so subtle, so small in a way, so small. Very subtle. We don't even realize that something has caused us trauma. So, and what I think trauma is any event that has the effect, and the effect is fear, and that like the dictionary describes sadness, shock, and grief and distrust, a whole lot of a whole lot of negative emotions, but mostly it's fear that trauma elicits from us. It's fear. So up and we sometimes some events are so obvious, so kind of aggravated or so high on intensity that we realize that yeah, something is that we are scared, and that we are hurt emotionally, and it's then we can do something about it. We can go on doing something about it. But sometimes things are so subtle in nature, we don't realize that they are traumatizing us. And these things, they go on for years and years and years. And we keep carrying that trauma around, and our body, our mind, it tries to give us the signal that, see, you have to look at this. This is not healthy. You're carrying this in your body. Actually, our body stores trauma, not just our mind. So, but the signs are also so subtle, and we are so busy most of the times. We don't kind of, and we are not even aware. So we kind of, just brush it aside or not think much about it. But slowly it starts becoming louder. The signals start becoming louder, and still, when we don't give attention, still, when we don't look at them, then with time it becomes so um, kind of, it keeps compounding and it becomes so heavy that you break down. Like I broke down 13 years ago. I had no idea that I was carrying so much trauma around. I was carrying childhood traumas, and I was carrying betrayal traumas, and there were a lot of things. And in the past 13 years also, I have seen so many things. It's like in just this few months that I started really waking up to what I have to do, what I have to change. Otherwise, I was also like, mm, mm, some feeling may come up, and I was like, okay, I'm just feeling sad or something like that. Uh, I'm talking about 13 years ago. If it was like my mind or my body was giving me signal that you have to look at it, you have to deal with this thing. You're carrying this around, and you're creating your life from that experience. and you're not even aware of that. So I would just think, I'm just feeling sad, or something like that, and I would just brush it aside because it was not that difficult that time. They were small signals. So, and then it was a complete breakdown. One day I completely collapsed. Um, I completely collapsed. Mm, and So that was the time this whole depression and PTSD thing started. But it had started long ago, but I was just not aware of it. If I was aware, I could have stopped the collapse. I could have done something about it. But just because I was not aware of it, I didn't know what it was. It got to such a point where I collapsed, where my nervous system couldn't take it, where my body, my mind couldn't take it. And I had no idea that it was going on inside me. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because so many of us are going through life like that, and our body and mind, they keep giving us signals, and we ignore them. We ignore them, and then the end result is really bad. And my intention is, if by you know by watching this video, by listening, if you can be aware, and if you can learn to understand and see those signs and stop it early on, in a way, uh, and you will not collapse. You will kind of control it, you know before it gets out of hand. Because my nervous system broke down so badly that I had to be hospitalized. It was kind of like 30 years of 30 something around years of trauma, um, that I was carrying, and I was not even aware of it. I was not even aware of it. I was aware of the surface level of some things, that this has happened, but the effect it had caused inside me, and which was still there and was growing, that I was not aware of. And sometimes, when you have not collapsed, or when you're in the middle, right, when the signals are becoming louder, what we a lot of us try to do is, we try to, when this some emotions start coming up, difficult emotions like sadness, anger, and grief, and restlessness, and mostly it's sadness and grief and irritation. So what we do is, we try to drown it. And a lot of people, when they can't deal with it, they turn to substance abuse. I'm not judging anybody, because I know how painful the situation is, how painful it is to deal with it. So a lot of us turn to substance abuse. By God's grace, I never had to do that. But at one point of time, I was so addicted to coffee that I was only living on coffee, and that was also not good for the nervous system. Sometimes it's okay, but if you're only having coffee for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for like weeks, that is so not good for you. So I by that time, I was becoming aware, and I had started listening to the subtle signs of my body, and how I'm feeling, what that some anything or whatever is making me, how I'm feeling. So I stopped coffee. Sometimes I do take, but then what I was saying is, if we can stop it before it becomes too big, you know a lot of damage can be stopped from doing. And yeah, this video is going to be a little long, because it is really really important, because a lot of people are on the onset of that stage, where you're getting signs like, see, there are a few things that you need to look into. And that is one very very difficult thing, to kind of pause or sit down and then look at why you are feeling that way. And when you go even deeper, you will find trauma there, stored, years of trauma. So like I had this abandonment trauma from childhood, and then when I grew up I had this betrayal trauma and whatnot, a lot of things. And what we don't realize is this traumas, they lodged into our subconscious mind and our body so intrinsically, so deeply and subtly most of the times, that they are running our lives. We are making decisions from them, based on them, and we are not even aware of that. We are not aware that our decisions and whatever we are doing is coming out of that place, from that hurt place or the wound that has not healed. So it's and when you start becoming aware, you have to, it takes a lot of courage. I mean, it takes so much courage to look into those wounds again, that sometimes we have kind of brushed aside, we never want to think about. No, no, I'm not suggesting that we need to keep revisiting horrible episodes of our lives all the time. No, I'm not suggesting that at all. What I'm suggesting it is that we have to look at it at some point to heal it. Just not thinking about it or brushing it aside is not going to heal it. I have tried. I have tried blotting everything out of my mind, and I have been doing meditation practices and yoga and breathing exercises to calm me down. But had been avoiding looking into, you know, the things that contributed to my condition, the things that contributed to my completely my, my nervous breakdown. And from there things were so difficult. And I was scared to look when I became aware also that these are the things I am. When I started researching, I realized I have traumas, and I need to address them. And it was very difficult for me to kind of look into those. I was very scared. I was already in a constant state of anxiety and fear, because it had become kind of my default state. So further looking into the events that contributed to those, and how it had changed my brain and my body, I was scared to look at that, because I had no support at that time. In a way, I had taken a divorce, and my parents, I didn't want to put them through, you know, this kind of, not everybody understands also. And my father, they are in their 60s. How much burden can you put on your parents, right? So I didn't want to trouble them. And I I was researching, and there were some really good research materials. There were some really good papers on this subject. But I was like, I really wanted somebody there to hold my hand when I would read or listen, to tell me that it's okay, I got you. You can kind of see. You can look into your own wounds. You can look into your own, um, pain. So, but no, I had nobody. So I kept kind of postponing it. I kept kind of postponing it, and it only started growing worse and worse. Because if you want to heal something, you need to know first what it is. So I'm not telling you to go read some book and start doing it on your own. I'm not at all asking you to do that. You should do it with the help of a qualified medical practitioner. But problem with me was, I had nobody, right? Like my doctor, he is like a father figure to me, a really really nice person. But he gave me medications, and but we didn't talk about trauma or anything, and I never realized that I was carrying so much trauma. And it's not that he's incompetent or anything. Maybe he didn't want to spook me or something, I don't know. But he, what I know is he's really nice. But then so many things I had to find out myself. Yeah, and I wouldn't recommend that you should go and google things, because sometimes what we do is, in our minds, things that are not there, we create that when we learn, when we kind of read about it or something like that. Oh my god, this is happening to me, something like that. No, you have to be at a place where you can really understand what is going to you, and you can really see what applies to you. So uh, that's uh, that's when I started learning about trauma and how it affects us, and how it runs our lives, how it shapes our personality, and we grow up, we act in certain ways. um, I'm not saying that everybody has a traumatic childhood or traumatic life. No, and I so thank God for that. But people who have, it really does run the show. The traumas, they run the show, and we are not even aware of that. We are, they become triggers. They become our behavior. They mold our behavior. So what I was saying is, you need to be aware. You need, when this kind of things, some sadness or grief or anger out of nowhere, when it is repeatedly coming, arising in you, you need to look at it. You don't need to brush it aside all the time. I mean, one, sometimes it's okay, but if it's recurrent, it just keeps coming up, coming up, coming up, it means that your mind and your body are telling you to look into it before it's too late. So you have to see, and it really takes a lot of courage to accept, and to see, okay, this happened, and this is happening to me, and I need to do something about it. But healing starts with accepting. Until we are denying that we have this pain, we have this wound, this happened, until we are denying it, healing cannot happen, because there's nothing to heal then, right? Then we are completely all right. Then why would these feelings come up? But if these feelings are coming up repeatedly, it means something is wrong. So yeah, and I'm not talking here about being of a victim mentality, not at all. Never be of a victim mentality. It's just about accepting what happened and looking into the effect that it has on you. Kind of a lot of introspection it requires and takes time, but it is worth the effort. It's worth your life, actually, because if we don't pay attention to it, and it gets out of control, then there's not much to life anyways. Then after that, it's a constant struggle with anxiety and sadness and fear and things we don't even understand. I am not painting a gloomy picture here. I'm just telling you my experience. It becomes increasingly difficult. So, at the onset, sorry, when it is starting. um, and you can take out some time and look into it, and go on about the trying to heal it, or trying to kind of do something about it in a way, in a constructive way, and release it, um, you can take help of a medical professional if it's severe. If it's just simple, and you can just deal with it on your own by acknowledging it, sometimes by just crying. I mean, it makes you cry, it does. It makes you angry. It makes you kind of, it brings up so many emotions. If if it's at that stage where it can be done, it can be kind of released, um, by acknowledging it, and by deciding that I'm not going to be, I'm aware now that this is happening, and and then releasing it. It takes practice, it just doesn't happen overnight, but with time, you do get rid of it. But to people, to some of us, like, where it has become kind of a default programming in a way, when we have been carrying it for so long, that this trauma has started running our lives. um, it requires a lot of practice, lot of awareness, lot of self compassion, um, and self care, uh, to kind of heal, and to kind of you know come to a place where you are in control of your life, not these wounds, not what other people did, not what you did. Sometimes we end up doing horrible things, and we carry the guilt or the shame as trauma with us. So it's very important to look into it. It's very important to see why this kind of feelings are coming up. And when you sit with it, and when you look at it, um, you will find what is going on. You will kind of find, you know why this is happening, why you are feeling sad, why you are feeling angry. So don't try to brush it aside. And I'm not even saying that you should, leave everything, when it's not severe, when it's just starting. What I'm saying, not saying that you should leave everything and just sit with it all day. I'm not saying that. Take out some time when you're feeling like that, and try to just go inside. I mean, just try to be present with your own self, your own feelings, and try to um, kind of listen to your own body, your mind, and you know try to understand what's going on, what your body is trying to tell you, what your mind is trying to tell you, what you have to look into, so that you don't collapse, so that it doesn't get so big that it's so out of control. um, it happens to children also. You need to be very aware how you are with children, how what children are exposed to, how they are being treated. So that's another topic, and I will cover it in other video. But I really want to talk about it, yeah, because kids are so vulnerable, and most of the traumas that we carry it from our childhood only, and that shape our personality. We don't even realize it. We go our whole life without realizing it. So just a second. So sorry about the pause. So like I was saying, that I was not ready to look into my wounds, and what it may have caused to my psyche, my brain, my body. Though I was suffering a lot, I was terribly sick, and my depression and anxiety levels and things were very, very on a high, intense. They were intense. Still, they get intense at times, but then I have learned to manage it a lot, to a lot of extent, that see, I'm able to talk to you, I'm able to kind of you know share my thoughts, I'm able to think clearly. So that I'm able to show up, that's what I'm saying. uh, it's not easy, because when I woke up since morning, I have been in a kind of it was like a crying spell, and I was kind of fighting it. No, I'm not going to cry. No, I'm not going to cry. Because now, if there is nothing, also, like, I said, it has become the default state, which I am changing. That's the best thing about our brain, this neuroplasticity. With the repetition, with being positive, it will all, it's all sounds like cliche, I understand, it all sounds like a broken tape recorder. I know, but then, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And it's very difficult when you're going through such darkness and sadness, that to try to keep a positive attitude. I'm not saying that that time you should just start being very positive and happy, but slowly you should try to be, and that's how you start changing, um, your setting, default setting of your body and mind. So, like, I was feeling like crying, and I woke up and I was thinking about trauma, and I was like, oh my god, I should make a video about it, because so many people are just walking unaware of it, and it is running their lives. um, they need to be made aware, you know. And so what I was saying is, when I started doing my research, I was so scared to look into the things. I was even so scared to read about the nervous system, because I didn't want to acknowledge that something might be wrong. I just wanted to believe that nothing is wrong, and I just have to keep taking my medications, and one day, and slowly it will get and better. And yeah, life surprises you. It in miracles sometimes it happens, but normally what I'm saying is, well, I do believe in miracles, but right now it's not happening. So for this thing, I was like scared to look into it, to acknowledge, because it would have meant that something is wrong with me. Not with me, something is wrong inside me, that something is out of balance. Nothing is wrong with you, you know. Don't ever think that something is wrong with you. Something is out of balance, I would say. So then I didn't open the books, or I didn't listen to the lectures right away. I got into some practices where I learned to control my emotions, where I would, because I told you, like, I had nobody to just uh, take my hand and guide me through it. I believe in God, so God had always been there, for people who don't believe in God, it's like it's not like you are abandoned, or there's no hope. No, you have your own self. The thing is, we do it ourselves, we pull ourselves out of it. And if we have supportive people around us, if we have the resources, then that's such a big blessing, you know. It makes the journey so much easier. It makes healing so much easier. But when you have none of these things, and rather you have opposite of all these conditions, when you have so much hate, when you have so much jealousy, conspiracy, and when you're completely alone, and broke also, in a sense that you can't afford a proper like, you know. And I'm kind of a person who doesn't want to take help. I mean, it was like it was very difficult for me, I taking help from anybody, which I'm learning, like, sometimes it's really okay to ask for help, like for advice, for never for selfish reasons, but when you are really in a situation where you need help, you should ask for help from the right people. Because we are all there for each other. uh, Not everybody has good intentions, but there are people with good intentions. And if we don't help each other in our difficult times, um, it's it's sad then, right? But for me, it had been a very big issue for me. I had very, if anybody would ask some help from me, I would go out of my way to help. But if I had to ask for help, I would be like, I can manage it anyhow. I couldn't ask for help. That was also some kind of trauma, I guess, because there is a healthy level of, like, you know, give and take in things. Um, so I had a problem even asking for help. So I had no resources, and I didn't have anybody to walk me through it, or to just calm me down when, if I get scared or more nervous when I read about it, what is going on actually inside me and to me. So I don't know, somehow I got this wisdom, like, okay, first let's get control of my emotions first, where I can hold myself, that I won't have to need anybody else to come and hold my hand. It's not out of anger or anything, because the situations were such that I had to be there for myself. That's what I want to tell you guys also. Like, if you're in this kind of condition, when you have nobody, when you have no resources also, and you know, and when you're scared, and it's very difficult, and I know, still you can make it. You can make it out of that very dark place, and come to a little light, dark place, until we go towards completely bright days. So mm, yeah, so if you're alone, and you don't have anybody, and everything seems against you, people seem against you, still you have to stand up for yourself. Because, like, today I was so jittery, and my mind was like, when things like this happen, you just, it's like you're out of your mind in a way, kind of. I was just, I don't know what I was doing. I put my toothpaste where my pens should be, and I put my cup where something else should be. I had been doing those things because I was so emotionally jumbled when I woke up today. And it's nothing medical, it was just a lot of emotions that I just had to sit down and calm myself down. But we have this tendency that, no, we should be doing something, we should be constructive. We should always be doing something to be relevant, or so that our existence is like validated. So we should be doing something, we should be doing something. But sometimes, no, it's not like that. No, sometimes you have to pause before life makes you to take a pause. Like, that no, now you have to stop and think. So um, I was in that state for a long time. Then I was like, what am I doing? I'm falling into that space again, right? Then I calmed myself down. I listened to some music because it was going on in my mind that I have to make this video. I have to make this video. What if I forget some points? And like, 1,000 things were going into my mind. So, well, I was like, leave everything, calm down. That is most important right now. You will make the video. You you will make the video when you can. But right now, what is important is for you to calm down. If you don't calm down, anyways, you're not going to be able to make this video or do anything. You will just keep doing this strange things, putting your toothpaste in your pen holder and your cup in the bathroom, you know, something like that. Stop doing that. So I sat myself down. I listened to my favorite songs. I calmed myself down. I had to accept few things. Again, there are a lot of things in life that we have to accept. I had to accept that one of the biggest challenges is that I have to keep looking for a good angle to make a video. And today I really wanted to be kind of in the sun outside, um, but the sun was so bright. Sun is always so bright, right? Like my face was not even visible. I couldn't even see myself, so it was difficult for me to make a video there. I was squinting my eyes, so I was like, "Nahi, no, it can't. I can't make it here." Then I was trying here and there. Then I realized, no, simple is enough. I don't have to kind of be like, have a very decorative something like that, or a perfect place from where I can make a video. All I need is We need simple things. All I need is a space from where I can express my thoughts clearly, where I am not disturbed, and where you can see me, because expressions are even expressions help a lot. And I didn't want it to make a audio blog because I didn't want anybody to think like it's fake, or I didn't want that or I mean I wanted to tell you that, see, if you're telling your story, if telling it behind a mic, and uh, not facing the camera, it's like uh, I'm preaching something, and I'm not myself doing it. I'm not being courageous enough. And for people who do mic podcasts, I have immense respect for them, because everybody is in a different different stage in their journey. I have learned a lot from the podcasts. So everybody have their own choices, everybody have their own belief systems. This is my belief system for me, not for everybody, for me. Because like I said, we don't know at what space, at what stage somebody is at their journey, what they prefer, how they are comfortable. As long as you are whatever is making you do what you are doing well, and to the best of your ability, you should do it that way. So that's what uh, yeah, like, again, yeah, I forgot what I was saying earlier. I was talking about traumas. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was saying, that Learn to recognize the symptoms and signs before it's too late, because your body is giving you signs always, your mind is giving you signs always. Pause. It's not always a kind of you have to be working, or it's important to work. I know it's really important to work and be productive, but at times when you need to really pause, you do need to pause. Don't make life force you to pause, uh, don't make your body break down, or your mind break down, your nervous system to break down. Pause, think, reflect, calm down, and then you can carry on again. If you need to rest, rest. There is nothing wrong in resting. There is nothing wrong in pausing for your well being if it is important. Anyways, taking a day or two to rest is better than being hospitalized, because I broke down so badly, I was hospitalized. It was 13 years ago. So I was hospitalized 2, 3 times because I was in such bad condition. I was not acknowledging that um, I was carrying so much. I was carrying everybody else's problem. I was carrying everybody. I mean, it was like, it was too much for me to handle. I would never care about myself. I would just care about others, and there's nothing wrong in that. But you have to care about yourself also. You have to see how much you can carry. If you overburden yourself, of course you're going to collapse. If you overburden yourself for a very prolonged time, even emotionally, because I kept thinking everybody's happiness is my responsibility. What everyone is feeling is my responsibility. I grew up thinking like that, and that was the abandonment trauma running the show. Because somewhere in my childhood, I kind of learned that if I don't behave in a certain way, uh, if people are not happy with me, I will be abandoned. uh, as a child, you can't discern, right, that it's not it's not like that, it's not like that. But then um, and back then there was not so much awareness also, and my parents are phenomenal people, really nice people, but they have their upbringing too, and they do the best they can. But not everybody is aware of these things. Even I would not have been aware of these things had it not been happened to me. Who looks into this, right? That's why awareness is important. So, and in this generation, children are picking things fast, so fast. I look at my nephew, and he is 3.5, and he is super super mischievous and everything, but at the same time he is super sensitive also. Kids this days are very woke, I would say. So you need to be we need to educate ourselves for our kids, you know so that they don't grow up with wounds. Yeah, like I said, I will cover it in some other topic. And despite our best intentions, we end up doing some parenting mistakes. So yeah, this abandonment issue that I had, I was like, if I didn't get good grades, if I didn't do a thing a certain way. So a lot of us in our generation have grown up like that, with conditions, with a lot of conditions. No doubt our parents' love were always there. They have been loving and supporting, but there have been a lot of conditions also, right? That this, you need to do this, you need to do that, you have to be good at every subject. um, so I grew up thinking I have to, like, everybody should be happy with me, otherwise I would be abandoned, or I would be kind of like, so it kind of, I, as a little child, I took on that responsibility of taking everybody's emotional burden upon me, of trying to alleviate that burden. Even as a child, I would try to, if I see someone is sad, I would, even with adults, I would go and ask, why are you okay? Are you all right? Is something bothering you? And it was genuine also. And but I think it was too much for a kid. It was too much for a kid, and it became so ingrained in my nature that everybody else's emotion, I started feeling like they were my own emotions. If someone is angry, I would anyhow wanted their anger to subside. If someone is sad, I would anyhow wanted them to be happy. It grew to such an extent, if you are watching something on TV, like I don't watch TV now, I would like, if I have recommended something that you should watch this, I would be like constantly with my breath like this, you know, tugged in, like, are they liking it or not? Are they liking it or not? Because I have suggested it. Have I done a good job or not? So there was so much pressure on me that put myself, I myself had put myself on. I had taken that pressure upon me because I was scared of being abandoned, and I was not aware. I was not aware of it until recently, until I really started looking into these things, that why are things certain way, why am I this way, why are these things happening to me. So um, one day I even fought with my parents, like, I was going through such dark, difficult time. I was like, why you didn't raise me to be a selfish person or a bad person? See, what a horrible thought, right? Asking your parents this. But I was, you can imagine in what bad state I would be in. And my parents were like, they are very simple people, they were dumbfounded, and they were like, how else are we supposed to raise you, how else were we supposed to raise you? And I was like, you should have made me a very mean person, you should have taught me, like, but then I realized it was all that pain and grief that I was working through was coming out. And it was not right to take it out on my parents. I realized that now. I apologized later on. Um, but yeah, so the main thing is, um, these traumas that we carry, if we don't deal with them, they keep running our life, and it becomes a loop. Faces may change, but situations remain same. One person betrays you, but you are running from the with the same program. Your nature is the same, your thinking pattern, everything is the same. You will attract the same kind of a person. I'm not just talking about romantic relationships or anything. In any relationship, any interaction, you will invite the same kind of circumstances unless you are ready to change uh, that inner programming, unless you're ready to change how you show up, how people see you. It's not about impressing people, not at all, because that is the worst thing you can do. If you live your life to impress people, then it's like, then you're not living for yourself, you're living somebody else's life. That's what I had to learn, being authentic. And I'm not saying you need to go be rude or demeaning or other things, no, but just be yourself. Honor yourself, what you like, what you don't like, what is kind of acceptable to you, what is not. And don't just spend your life trying to please everybody around you, because anyways it is impossible to please everybody. So and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Be in touch with yourself. See what you need, what you want, what you really need, what you really want. Because so much of what we think that we need and we want is conditioned. It has been conditioned into our minds from early on, from our childhood, and we don't even realize that these are the things that we don't want. Like, my life is like, because I was a law student, and I was studying in one of the most prestigious colleges in our country. And but it was like, by the end of the last semester, something in me was, I don't want it, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. It was risky, but I couldn't carry on with it. I'm not advising anybody to leave their studies in between, in the middle. I'm not saying that at all. For me, it had become, I am a very sensitive person, so that also I'm learning to control, not to be run by my emotions, but to run my emotions, like, to have control over my emotions, not let my emotions control me. And I have succeeded in, to a lot of extent. That's why I am telling you. Otherwise, I would not have told you to, because I have seen it can be done. That's why. So in the last semester, I left college. It's one of the top 10 colleges in India. Like, people don't don't get into the college, and I got by merit. So I left it, and since my whole life I lived trying to please people, trying to think about everybody else. I never really gave it a thought what I wanted. So I didn't even know what I wanted to study also. So now I know that I wanted to study psychology uh, and literature. So I by the last semester I had put on I mean I had completed 9 semesters. It was the last semester, and I just could not do it. My soul was like, I, what I think is I should have completed it in a way, but then it is not what I wanted. So I left it, because I didn't even know what I wanted. So try to, know yourself. Try to separate yourself from the conditioning that you have grown up in